There comes a moment in every life when something deep inside whispers, this is not the end of your story, not a shout, not a demand, just a quiet knowing that who you are right now is not all you are meant to be. Reinventing your life does not begin tomorrow. It does not begin when you have more money, more confidence, or more support. It begins today, in this very moment, with a single decision, the decision to believe that change is possible. You see, many people think reinvention requires erasing the past. It doesn't. Your past is not a mistake, it is a classroom. Every disappointment you something. Every failure shaped your strength. Every delay prepared your patience. The pain you survived did not come to destroy you. It came to introduce you to your power. Reinvention starts when you stop running from who you've been and start honoring what you've learned. The first step is truth. You must be brave enough to look at your life and say, this part no longer fits me. Maybe it's a habit, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's the version of yourself that keeps playing small to make others comfortable. Truth is not always easy, but it is always freeing. The moment you tell yourself the truth, you open the door to change. Next comes choice. Your life today is the result of choices you made yesterday, and your life tomorrow will be shaped by the choices you make now. Reinvention does not require perfection. It requires commitment. Small steps, daily courage, repeated effort. Choose to speak kindly to yourself. Choose to protect your energy. Choose growth even when comfort feels tempting. And listen closely to this, your inner voice knows the way. There will be noise, there will be opinions. People will tell you who you should be, how fast you should move, and what success should look like. But the voice that matters most is the one inside you, the one that speaks in honesty, intuition, and hope. Trust it. Finally, understand this truth. You are allowed to change. You are allowed to outgrow old versions of yourself. You are allowed to dream again, even if life disappointed you before. You are allowed to start over without explaining yourself to anyone. Reinvention is not about becoming someone else. It is about returning to who you truly are, before fear, before doubt, before the world told you who to be. So start today, not with everything figured out, not with certainty, but with faith in yourself. Because the moment you decide to rise, to grow, and to begin again, your life begins to reinvent itself with you. And that decision can be made right now. One of the most powerful realizations you can ever have in life is this: your past does not own you. It may have shaped you, it may have challenged you, and it may have tested your strength in ways you never imagined, but it does not get to decide your future unless you allow it to. Too many people live as prisoners of moments that are already over, mistakes that can no longer be changed, and pain that has already passed. Reinvention begins the moment you understand that yesterday's story does not have the authority to write today's chapter. Your past is a record of experiences, not a life sentence. Every setback, every failure, every rejection was an event, not a definition. Yet many people unknowingly turn their experiences into labels. They say, I failed once, so I am a failure. Or I was hurt, so I am broken. Or I lost my way, so I will never find it again. This way of thinking keeps you trapped in a version of yourself that no longer exists. The truth is, you are not who you were 5 years ago or even 5 months ago. Growth is happening whether you notice it or not. The past only has power when you keep reliving it. When you replay old memories with regret, guilt, or shame, you give them control over your present. But when you choose to learn from them, instead, they become tools for wisdom. Pain is not meant to punish you, it is meant to prepare you. Every difficult chapter trains you to survive, to adapt, and to stand stronger than before. You did not come through everything you face just to remain stuck in it. Reinvention requires forgiveness, especially forgiveness toward yourself. Many people struggle to move forward because they are still judging themselves for choices they made when they did not know better. But growth means understanding that you made the best decision you could with the awareness you had at that time. Be gentle with the version of you that was still learning. Holding on to self-blame only delays your transformation. Letting go is not weakness, it is strength. You must also release the belief that your background limits your future. Where you come from does not determine where you can go. What you lacked does not cancel what you can build. Some of the strongest, wisest, and most impactful lives were created from difficult beginnings. Struggle does not disqualify you, it often qualifies you. It gives you depth, empathy, and resilience that comfort alone never could. The moment you stop asking, what did this happen to me? And start asking, what did this teach me? Everything changes. Your story shifts from victimhood to victory, from pain to purpose. The same experiences that once hurt you can become the foundation of your strength, your wisdom, and even your service to others. Remember this clearly, you are standing here today, which means you survived everything that tried to break you. That alone is proof of your inner power, inner power. Past may explain parts of your journey, but it does not get to dictate your destination. You are not trapped, you are transforming. Reinventing your life starts when you decide to stop living behind you and start living ahead of you. Close the door on what no longer serves you. Take the lessons with you and walk forward with courage. The past has already done its job. Now it is your turn to do yours. Reinventing your life begins with one courageous act, telling yourself the truth. Not the version of truth that feels comfortable, and not the version that protects your excuses, but the honest, sometimes uncomfortable truth that opens the door to a change. Without truth, growth becomes a performance. With truth, transformation becomes possible. Many people feel stuck not because they lack potential, but because they avoid clarity. They stay busy, distracted, or overwhelmed, hoping that movement alone will create direction. But clarity does not come from doing more. It comes from seeing more clearly. And clarity is born the moment you are willing to look at your life exactly as it is, not as you wish it were, and not as you pretend it to be. Truth requires self-awareness. It asks you to observe your habits, your patterns, and your choices without judgment. It asks you to notice what drains you, what excites you, and what keeps repeating in your life. When the same disappointments show up again and again, they are not accidents, they are messages. Life repeats lessons until they are learned. The honest question is not, what does this keep happening, but what am I being asked to see about myself? Clarity also means taking responsibility. This does not mean blaming yourself for everything that went wrong. It means recognizing where your power truly is. You may not be responsible for what happened to you, but you are responsible for how you respond to it. When you stop giving all your energy to circumstances, people, or timing and start focusing on your choices, you reclaim your power. Responsibility is not heavy, it is freeing. It reminds you that you are not helpless, you are capable. One of the hardest truths to face is that some things in your life continue because you tolerate them. Comfort zones are often disguised as familiar pain. You stay because it is known, even if it hurts. Truth asks you to admit when something no longer fits, when a relationship, a habit, or a mindset is holding you back. Growth begins where denial ends. You cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. Honesty also brings clarity about what you truly want. Many people chase goals that are not theirs, dreams shaped by expectations, comparison, or fear of disappointing others. Truth invites you to ask, is this aligned with who I am becoming, or am I living to be accepted? When you are honest about your desires, your path becomes clearer. You stop forcing doors that are not meant for you and start recognizing the ones that open naturally. Reinvention becomes possible when you stop lying to yourself about not what you need. Sometimes what you need is rest, not motivation. Sometimes it is discipline, not inspiration. Sometimes it is courage, not permission. Truth removes confusion and replaces it with direction. It may not make the journey easier, but it makes it real. Clarity does not arrive all at once. It comes in layers through reflection, awareness, and repeated honesty. Each truth you accept lightens the weight you carry. Each honest moment brings you closer to alignment. When your actions match your values, your life begins to feel grounded instead of scattered. Remember, truth is not here to judge you. It is here to guide you. When you face yourself honestly, you stop running in circles and start moving forward with purpose. Reinventing your life requires clarity, and clarity always begins with the courage to tell yourself the truth, even when your voice shakes, even when change feels uncertain. That truth will become the foundation of the life you are rebuilding. One of the greatest misunderstandings about reinvention is the belief that change must be dramatic, instant, and visible to everyone. Many people wait for a life-altering moment, a perfect opportunity, or a sudden burst of motivation before they begin. But real transformation rarely arrives in a single grand event. It is built quietly, patiently, and consistently through the small decisions you make every day. Reinventing your life does not start with a leap, it starts with a step. Your life today is the accumulated result of thousands of small choices made over time. What you choose to think, what you choose to tolerate, how you choose to spend your time, and how you speak to yourself, all of these shape your reality. In the same way, your future will be formed by the small decisions you make from this moment forward. When you understand this, change no longer feels overwhelming. You do not need to fix everything at once. You only need to choose better, one moment at a time. Small decisions may seem insignificant, but they carry great power. Choosing to wake up 10 minutes earlier, choosing to drink water instead of another excuse, choosing to read one page instead of scrolling endlessly, choosing to walk away from what drains you. These are not minor acts. They are votes for the person you are becoming. Each decision is a signal to yourself that you are serious about change, even when progress feels slow. Consistency matters more than intensity. Many people start strong and quit quickly because they try to change everything at once. Sustainable transformation comes from habits that are realistic and repeatable. When you show up daily, even in small ways, you build trust with yourself. And self-trust is the foundation of confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, you reinforce the belief that you are capable of growth. Small decisions also shape your mindset. Choosing gratitude over complaint, choosing patience over reaction, choosing awareness over autopilot. These internal choices are just as powerful as external actions. They rewire how you see the world and how you see yourself. Over time, these shifts create emotional strength and mental clarity. You begin to respond instead of react, to lead your life instead of being led by circumstances. Reinvention often happens when no one is watching. The quiet moments, the unseen discipline, the private choices, these are where real change takes place. Success is not built on what you do occasionally, but on what you do consistently. The person you admire did not wake up one day transformed. They became who they are through repeated small actions practiced over time. It is important to release the pressure to be perfect. You will make mistakes. You will miss days. You will feel unmotivated. Progress does not require flawlessness. It requires persistence. When you fall, the small decision to begin again is what keeps you moving forward. Reinvention is not about never failing. It is about never quitting on yourself. Over time, these small decisions compound. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once required effort becomes habit. And one day you look back and realize your life has changed, not because of one big moment, but because you chose yourself in 1,000 small ways. Remember, You do not need a new life to start. You need new choices. Make the next right decision, then the next one after that. Small steps, taken consistently, will carry you farther than any single leap ever could. This is how real transformation is built, quietly, patiently, and powerfully. In a world filled with noise, opinions, expectations, and constant comparison, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to hear your own inner voice. Reinventing your life does not require you to become someone new by copying others. It requires you to return to the wisdom that has always lived within you. Your inner voice is not loud or demanding. It is calm, steady, and honest. It speaks in feelings, instincts, and quiet nudges. And when you learn to listen to it, your life begins to align in ways that feel natural and true. Many people ignore their inner voice because they have been trained to seek approval from the outside. From an early age, you are taught to look outward for validation, to follow rules, trends, and expectations in order to be accepted. Over time, this disconnects you from your intuition. You start making choices based on fear, comparison, or the desire to please others, rather than what feels right for you. Reinvention begins when you recognize that no one else can live your life for you, and no one else knows what you need better than you do. Your inner voice often speaks when something feels off. It shows up as discomfort, restlessness, or a sense that you are out of alignment. Many people silence this voice because facing it would require change. But ignoring it does not make it disappear. It only makes life heavier. When you listen to that quiet knowing and honor it, even with small actions, you begin to feel lighter, clearer, and more at peace with yourself. Trusting your inner voice requires courage. It may guide you away from paths that look safe but feel empty. It may ask you to walk away from relationships, habits, or roles that no longer serve your growth. It may push you toward uncertainty, growth, and unfamiliar territory. This is why many people doubt their intuition, not because it is wrong, but because it is honest. Growth rarely feels comfortable at first, but it always feels true. Your inner voice is also the place where your values live. When your actions align with your values, life feels meaningful. When they do not, you feel drained, frustrated, or lost. Reinvention happens when you begin making choices that honor what matters most to you, even when those choices are not popular or easily understood by others. You do not need everyone to understand your path. You only need to trust it. Silence plays an important role in reconnecting with your inner voice. When your mind is constantly busy, distracted, or overwhelmed, intuition gets drowned out. Taking moments of stillness, reflection, or journaling allows you to hear yourself clearly. In these quiet moments, clarity emerges. Answers you were searching for externally often rise from within. It is important to remember that your inner voice grows stronger the more you listen to it. Each time you trust it and see the results, your confidence deepens. Each time you ignore it, self-doubt grows. Reinvention is not about having all the answers. It is about trusting yourself enough to take the next step. Your inner voice is not trying to rush you, judge you, or pressure you. It is guiding you toward authenticity, peace, and growth. When you learn to listen, you stop chasing approval and start living with intention. Reinventing your life becomes less about forcing change and more about allowing yourself to become who you truly are. One of the most freeing truths you can ever accept is this: you are allowed to change. You are allowed to grow on the old versions of yourself, old expectations, and old limitations. Reinventing your life does not mean rejecting who you were. It means honoring who you are becoming. Yet many people stay stuck not because they lack ability, but because they feel guilty for outgrowing the life they once lived. From an early age, you are often taught to remain consistent so that others can feel comfortable with you. When you change, people may question you, misunderstand you, or remind you of who you used to be. This can create an invisible pressure to stay the same, even when staying the same costs you your peace. But growth is not betrayal. It is a natural response to awareness. The moment you learn more, you are meant to live differently. Becoming someone new requires releasing the need for permission. You do not need approval to heal, to dream bigger, or to choose a different path. The most important permission you will ever receive is the one you give yourself. When you stop waiting for validation and start honoring your truth, you step into your personal power. Reinvention begins the moment you say, I am allowed to want more for my life. Letting go of old identities can be uncomfortable. You may have defined yourself by past roles, mistakes, or achievements. You may fear that without those labels, you will not know who you are. But identity is not fixed, it evolves. Each phase of your life reveals a new layer of you. Growth is not about erasing the past, it is about expanding beyond it. You are also allowed to change your mind. What once felt right may no longer align with who you are today. This does not make you weak or inconsistent. It makes you honest. Reinvention requires the courage to admit when something no longer fits. Holding onto outdated dreams out of fear of judgment only keeps you disconnected from your true self. Becoming someone new also means releasing relationships, habits, and environments that no longer support your growth. This can be one of the hardest parts of change. Not everyone will understand your evolution, and that is okay. Some people are meant to walk with you for a season, not a lifetime. Letting go creates space for alignment, peace, and deeper connection with yourself. It is important to approach change with compassion. You are not starting from nothing. You are starting from experience. Every version of you served a purpose. Thank the past for what it taught you, then allow yourself to move forward without guilt. Reinvention is not an act of rejection, it is an act of self-respect. When you give yourself permission to become someone new, you unlock possibility. You stop living according to old limitations and start creating a life that reflects your growth. You begin making choices that feel aligned rather than forced. Confidence not from pretending to be perfect, but from being authentic. Remember, life is not asking you to remain the same. It is inviting you to evolve. You are allowed to rise, to heal, to expand, and to rewrite your story. Becoming someone new is not losing yourself. It is finally allowing yourself to be found. Reinventing your life is not a one-time decision. It is a daily commitment to growth and self-respect. It begins when you release the grip of the past, face your life with honesty, and understand that small choices made consistently can change everything. It deepens when you learn to trust your inner voice and give yourself permission to evolve without guilt or fear. You do not need to have everything figured out to begin. You only need the courage to take the next step. Reinvention is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming aligned with your values, your truth, and your purpose. Each day offers you a fresh opportunity to choose differently, to live intentionally, and to honor who you are becoming. Remember, your life is not defined by where you started, what you lost, or what went wrong. It is defined by what you choose to do now. Starting today, you can think differently, act differently, and believe differently. And when you do, your life will begin to reflect that change. The power to reinvent your life has always been within you. The moment you decide to rise, to grow, and to begin again, the journey truly begins. Start today and let the next chapter be written with courage, clarity, and purpose.